Multi Retro Man presents.
Okay, this video I'm going to be doing next is my son's playing the my arcade machine. This next video is all about the Commodore 64. Yes, now what I used to do years ago, all the games I enjoyed playing. So hope you enjoy the video. Good morning. Now then, following up from a video I did yesterday about the ZX Spectrum that I had, thought I'd do a video about my Commodore 64 that I got. What I did was I swapped it. Well, sorry, I swapped my. I had a Sega Master System, and I sort of played the games, but the games were really easy. I found them very, very easy indeed. So what I decided to do was see if anybody wanted to swap for something else. And a kid I used to go to school with, Russell Howarth, he offered me a Commodore 64 with loads of games to swap for it. So I thought, yeah, why not? And then, like I said, these were the games, and I started playing some of these. So I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, now this game, Bruce Lee, a lot of people will remember this game. It was on the Spectrum. The Spectrum version was very good, but this one was also very good. I just have to keep pressing the thing to change the joystick, if it works. There we go. And the thing is, I want to use this other joystick. I mean, the big difference with this one and the Spectrum one is that the Spectrum one was very, very quick. If you sort of did a flying kick, it would go kick, 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 and it could repeat it. With this one, like you saw there, it does it, waits a bit, and then you have to stop. And one good feature about that one, though, is like when you land on them, it knocks them to the floor, which is a nice little touch. I think the Spectrum one was supposed to do, but I'm not sure if it actually did, because I don't recall seeing it do it. Could be wrong. But the usual thing with this Bruce Lee is you've got to fight your way through these different screens. I mean, the screens were basically exactly the same on whichever computer that you had. And in case you're not, well, wondering, that's Bruce Lee there. And he can duck to avoid stuff. And then obviously jump across there. And then you've got the big green man, who's a big, like a, I think some sort of sumo wrestler or something. And the other one's just a little warrior type person, you know, with his little stick. I missed that one, so I've got to jump back up there again. And altogether, you know, this wasn't a bad little game at all. Took quite a long time to master. You know, once you'd worked out where you were supposed to go and what you were supposed to do. But like so, once you'd done it, it was alright. Now, the big difference on this one compared to the Spectrum one is the green character there. Obviously, on the Spectrum, and there wasn't very many colours, so they were all black. You know, they were black colours. However, what happened on the Spectrum version was that the green man, he would actually follow you. He would, he would follow you up the stairs. And this version is a little bit harder as well if you don't get the timing out of the kicks like that. You see. Again, very good game. And that was by US Gold, I think it was. Now, World Class Leaderboard. This was a really good game for the consoles. You know, a really good golf simulator game. Not sure if this one works, so I'll give it a go. Okay, so far, so good. It's just gone off the screen there, so I can't actually see what. There we go. So look, number of players, 1. Type in my name, just put my initials. Professional, amateur, kids. Well, obviously, professional, not kids. So I'm just doing it quickly for this kind of. So I'm not quite sure what it's doing now. Let's speed it up a little bit. There we go. So this is obviously when it's running at fast speed. You know, I'll just show you this is the normal speed. I'm not quite sure. It's making a beeping noise. I'm not quite sure what it's supposed to be doing. Let's have a look. There we go. That's better. So, if I remember rightly, go. Well, yeah, you're supposed to press it, I think, or do something at a certain time. And, you know, you look at the graphics, you think, well, them graphics are absolute garbage. And the amount of time it takes to, you know. But don't forget, this is an 8-bit computer, Commodore 64 computer. And, you know, the thing is, it was playable. And at the time, you either got this, an Amstrad CPC 464, or a ZX Spectrum. ZX Spectrum was good as well, but with regards to colours and stuff, I think the Commodore 64 was very good with colours. I was never really keen on the Amstrad. I don't know where the thing is there. And I didn't think... Oh, where's that going? Oh dear, behind the trees. Cypress Creek, this one, as you can see. Oh, so behind the tree, lovely. And I've hit the tree. And that was a good thing about the game. I mean, obviously there weren't a lot of sound to it, but the sound that there was just sounded like you were hitting a tree. You know, little... And it's probably going to do it again on this bit. Yeah, like that. So, I'm not bothered with all the details of this game, you know. But again, at the time, it was a really good game. Okay, and I'm not sure if anybody's ever heard this game before, called Mean Streak. Very good game. It was, and I believe it was based on an arcade machine, on an arcade game. Very similar kind of thing. Right, okay, so off we go now. Oh, there we go. Using the wrong controls here. You got, I think you sort of press the right button or something, and you get you can sort of do certain stuff. The idea is obviously you get all these people shooting at you, and you can pull back and press the fire button back, you know, and it'll make him jump like that, like you saw there, that just jumping like that, so you can jump over the cracks in the floor. Some of you get, I think you get other weapons as well. Except for the time, the graphics on it are really nice. You know, the little colours on the bike, the floor, you know. And the Commodore 64 had either blocky graphics or very smooth graphics, a bit like the Spectrum. There were one or two games, I believe Target Renegade, I think, was one of them, that had really, really good graphics. You know, for what they did on it was absolutely amazing. But again, one thing that the kind of the Commodore 64 had over this, well, you know, was a lot of the games had really good sound, because it had a really good sound chip, the Commodore 64. Whereas the Spectrum, you know, it could do some nice music, but most of it, you know, the sort of the basic ones that didn't do very well, they just beeped, you know. But then I'm not like, can't fault the Spectrum at all, because it was my first computer. Still love playing on the emulators today. And the same with these, you know, I love playing on these ones as well. Okay, so enough of that one. That's basically what you do. It's repetitive, but playable nonetheless. Okay, now I can't do a video without doing Saboteur. I mean, I didn't do one on the Spectrum one, but here we go. This is it on the Commodore 64. As you notice, a slightly smaller screen, but the colours are fine. You're a little with the, you know, when you take a step. And I think the idea was that you're supposed to, you know, you're meant to creep very slowly. You could duck down to avoid the shooting thing there, look, and then run across. The other thing about that game was, you know, you one hit, bang, he's gone. Now I'm trying to see if I can remember where we're supposed to go here. Let's avoid the dog. Well, trying to avoid the dog. Is it going to get me? Ooh! So if I can go and get your power up, and then go down this one, and go down the next one. That was the thing with doing the joystick. The controls were a bit more fiddly than the other ones, you know. And here we are. This favourite bit. You get into a little, you know, little train. And Clive Townsend, who did the game, I'm in regular contact with him. Well, I say regular contact. I've not contacted him for a while, because he's very, very busy with the other sort of project with the Xbox One version of Saboteur and Saboteur 2. However, they did re-release the games for the PC. I believe it released on the Switch, and then the PlayStation 4 versions are coming out very shortly as well. Now I'm just having a look on here. Nope, can't go down there. And like you say, the idea was you've got to very different levels, different things you could do. You're supposed to get a bomb, or disable a bomb or something, or blow something up, and then just escape. That's pretty much, that's in a nutshell, you know. And before anybody says, oh, it's not fair, it's a woman, blah, 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 it's not a woman, it's a man, da, 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 da. Saboteur 2 was a woman. You know, so before anybody sort of, like I say, gets on this bandwagon these days about, I mean, there were none of this political correctness or like that gone, you know, in them days, you know. But we're not going into that. Right, I shall leave this one with this one, because this is basically all it is. You know, Saboteur is what you... Okay, now, this is Saboteur 2 with the Lady. Now, you start off on a what they call a hang glider. You press the button, the joystick button, to drop from the hang glider, and if you time it right like that, you kind of get into a good place. Now this version, unfortunately, well, so far it was cracked. It's a cracked version, which I don't like cracks. You know, I prefer to have the originals and stuff, you know, but kind of crack copied games with, they've been going on for ages. But again, it doesn't help the developers, and I seriously consider, or suggest you purchase the original on the newer consoles of thing to help Clive Townsend, with his future games. Now again, this basically exactly the same kind of game. You do the same stuff. With regards to your character, what you kind of do and shouldn't do. I mean, like you see on here, you can jump across here and go whee. Oh, and the idea is you're meant to jump across there and you can land on there. However, land on here, and I'm going to try and get away because you die, and there you go. I've just died. As you can see, I've not too. I mean, I can sort of play Saboteur 2, but I've played lots of different other games at the time, so I'm not really good on this one. Next game. Now, this is one that, young lads at school always like, oh, look at this, blah, blah, blah. Samantha Fox, start again. Samantha Fox Strip Poker. Basically, it's poker with Samantha Fox taking the clothes off. And if anybody complained about it, basically your parents used to get the paper, the Sun paper. And pretty much 9 times out of 10, she might be in there, page 3, with her boobs out in full colour. So anyone complain about a game that's only sort of got 3 colours, black, grey and white, ridiculous, I mean, I'm saying I'm not going to play it, but it was one of those games that they made, and the music's a bit annoying as well. So next game. Now this game, as you can see, is School Days. Yes, it was on the Commodore 64. I mean, the music, very nice music, However, that annoyed me. The other thing I didn't like was the sort of the green colours, if you like. So they were very garish colours, And here we are. Look, this is the bit where I said sometimes you have to avoid stuff. So this one is saying avoid, him, the angel face, the bully, because he's got mumps. So, and that's the noise when you're making a thing. Firing a catapult, beep. And the noises, to me, I didn't like the sound effects as much as the Spectrum one. And, the Spectrum was obviously not as good sound, or certain stuff weren't as good sound anyway. But you can usually tell that something's going on because of the fact that, Boy Wonder, who's the character down there with the blonde hair, he's the naughty one. He's kind of doesn't go in the bathroom, and straight away, like I said, with it showing. So let's write on the blackboard. Multi. Let's forget that. That didn't work, did it? Multi-retro man. Oh well. And the thing is with this one, if you get, obviously you don't have to be caught straight away, but if your first lesson is in this room, Einstein will tell the teacher, please sir, I cannot tell a lie. Eric, and that's your default name, Eric wrote on the blackboard. And then, one thing, 9 times out of 10, you will get lines, as you can see on the bottom. But then occasionally, Einstein will get told off and say, stop telling tales. And then he'll get the lines, which is, justice. So, sitting down at the table, let's sit at the desk and let's do some work. No, forget that. But again, you can't go too close to the edge in case the teachers see you, in the class. I'm still trying to remember what the older teacher's name is. You got Mr. Withit, he's the geography teacher. Mr. Rocket, he's the science teacher. I would say Mr. Wacker, he's the headmaster. And, Mr. Creek, that's his name, Mr. Creek. And you have to remember it eventually. Yeah, Mr. Creek. And then obviously it's on, but it's another playtime. So you've got 2 playtimes. So you try and jump up there and you can't reach them. You can reach on the top one, like I said on the other one. And one thing is you'll see, is if I stay in here, And again, that's the noise for if somebody got, gets lines or told off. The Spectrum one was much better, I thought, with a me me, and it was screeched, so it was a proper, teacher shouting at somebody. Whereas that's just poor, to be honest. And I do think, I mean, no, don't get me wrong, it's playable, and everything else, but I always thought the Spectrum version was the better version of this game, without a doubt. They didn't do a bad job on this one, but again, the Spectrum one I think was a lot better. Okay, now another game that was quite a popular one was Spy versus Spy. This one on the Spectrum as well. What the whole idea was, you were supposed to create. I see this is not working right. Oh, that's why it's not working, because I've also got I've not pressed the button. But the idea was you were meant to kill the other person, and you could do it by different ways. You could either put something in hide something in a box or something. Like it. I'm not sure. There we go. So that's saying I think I've got money or something or whatever. So you have to walk up different things, Not exactly sure the whole idea of the game is. I think you're supposed to get. And I see, obviously, if I put that in there, does he look in there? No, he doesn't. And it basically consisted of fighting if you saw them, or disappearing if you could. Now he's obviously done something there, got something in there. The graphics are not bad. Seen much worse. But again, simplistic gameplay, bit boring. But again, nicely done. Graphics are not bad. Playable, not bad sound, but ultimately not the best. Now this one, Kickstart 2. I love this game. The graphics on it, are really good. Plays really well. And you look at this, and there used to be a TV program called Kickstart, and it was basically like this. There'd be people on a motorbike that used to have to do certain courses, and go across the course as fast as you could without falling off, basically. And that's what this is. So you've got to go certain speed over certain things like this, and then you can go fast on these bits. And normally sometimes I'm pretty good with this, but I've not played on it for absolutely ages. So that's why we're going a bit too slow. So, okay. I did it again. However, you get the gist of it. That's what it was. Really good playable game. Fun, So obviously you can't just skid on oil either and stuff like that. And the timing of it was, you had to get the timing right as well. I'll not bother playing anymore to embarrass myself anymore because, yeah. But it was a good game. Good game. Now I've got Pit Stop 2 by Epix. 1984. And I remember I acquired I bought a disc drive not long after I got the Commodore 64 because somebody was selling one, and it had two big, massive carry bag full of games, full of games because they used to get me big boxes then, the games. And there was a couple of boxes that had got like blank discs, if you like, that had got maybe 2 or 3 games on each. This was one of the games, Pit Stop 2. And I have to say, it's probably one of the best games I've found, if it works. Oops. What have I done there? Oh dear, I pressed the wrong button, I think. Oh. Apologies for this, everybody. Wrong monitor, don't want that. There we go. Right, yeah, I just pressed the wrong button, and I was hoping I could get it. I was hoping I'd be able to get this game working, but it doesn't look like it's going to. Rubbish. Now this game, Pac-Land. Pac-Land was possibly, for me, one of the best conversions on a Commodore 64 ever. This was probably the best game I'd ever played. The graphics on it are absolutely superb. And the sound was pretty good as well. Okay, so it's all got their own joystick in. And, for the time, don't forget, these were when we got like a, ZX Spectrums, obviously the Commodore 64, but you could actually play an arcade machine literally as good as in your home. Like in them days, you could only dream of it. You know, you could only dream of having an arcade machine in your home. Now, I mean, I've got one of myself. I bought one from somebody off an eBay a while ago, and I, just to put a PC in it with an arcade monitor and the sound and everything else in there as well. But like I say, this is as a home conversion. It's one of the better ones. And obviously timing and everything, you know, so you've got to do the timing right on it, like you do on the arcade. And it's, I mean, that was one thing as well. You can guarantee pretty much that if you were running all the time, they would always get you. So it was a little bit more tricky, you know, than the sort of most of the other version. But then look at the smoothness of it, the smooth scrolling, the colours. You know, you compare it with the Spectrum one. You know, and even you have that, the bonus thing of jumping at the end. You know, to compare the Spectrum just very, very poor. But then some games on the Spectrum are better than this one. You know, better than this, like Turbo Esprit, for example. Not sure if you've seen the other video, but I did a play of Turbo Esprit, and that was really good. This one, this level, you can just pretty much just keep running. You know, in the arcade you had to stop, I think, at a certain part. Like that, wait, stop. And then you see where they bounce. But you see, most of the time they bounce above your head anyway. So they're not, apart from that one. You know, it always makes me out to be a liar. Typical. That. But even so, such a good game, you know, you don't mind losing to it, you know, because like you say, you pay for the game, you play for it, and you play on it all the time. The only thing is, like you can see with the character, forgot to jump there, but your main character doesn't move up and down with the road like you saw there. He just stays in one place. But hey, it's a Commodore 64. It's an 8-bit machine, and the graphics, colours, like I say, everything, you can't really fault it. Really good, really good conversion. This was a good game, Rambo. Based on the film that came out around about the same time, or maybe a bit after, whatever. You know, you look at the graphics. Okay, it's really not very good, but when you think about what it did, you know, you've got a massive map area. You know, you've got this character that you control, shooting things, well, throwing knives at people, collecting weapons, etc. I thought it was a really nice playable game. You know, simple, basic. What always gets me is either they're running up. They should have had a bit of an extra graphics running that side. But, hey, what can you expect? You know, don't get an 8-bit machine. Again, graphics are nice on the character. You know, not too blocky. The outside, obviously, is blocky because that's the nature of the Commodore 64. You know, the trees and stuff. But, you know, the sound, which is one of the main things that the Commodore 64 really had going for it, that were a lot of people would confirm better than would say better than the Spectrum, which, you know, in some respects it was. Some of the games weren't as good or whatever. You know, they always said that these kind of, you know, the sort of the sound music was better than the Spectrum, and a lot of the times they weren't. You know, Rob Hubbard, he was a really good music creator, and he had, like, some games when they were loading up, you'd have some fantastic loading music. And I'll see if I can find something on here with one of the things, because there was one of the tunes that was really good. I've just had a look. Unfortunately, I haven't got any tape games yet, so I might have to try and get them later. But unfortunately, my internet's gone down, so there's no internet or anything. So, oh, hang on a minute, something just popped up. Show me a second. No, still no internet. Okay. As I'm looking through my collection, I've just seen a game on here, Turmoil. And part of me's thinking, is it going to be the same as the other one? You know, the one on the Spectrum. I seem to recall playing it, and I don't think it is, but I'm thinking it might be worthwhile having a look at and seeing if it does play similar or not. So when it loads up, I'll resume recording. Okay, so it actually loaded up very shortly after I paused it, because I've got it on like a turbo boost you can have for this thing. However, when you get to see the actual thing, the game, you look at this and you think, oh, that's not bad, nice colours, you know, Commodore 64 with different colours. And that's it. That's the game. Okay, it's playable, you know, up and down, shoot and back. It is quite playable. However, this is not the same as Turmoil as what we're on the ZX Spectrum. You know, very simple, basic game for Commodore 64. But the sound's not bad. I don't even know what these things are, what they're supposed to do. Right, I see that one you're supposed to shoot from behind. I'll not bother playing this one much longer, but it was an alright game. They were like most computers that came out, there were some terrible games, some really good games. This is one of the not so good games. Okay, now here's one game on here that I didn't do on the Spectrum, which I really should have done because I played a lot. And I remember seeing the advert. It's not the advert. Sorry, they had an interview with the person that actually wrote the game. I think it was on like one of these Good Morning programs, Good Morning Britain programs, or whatever it was, and it showed you playing it. And I'm like, when I saw it, I thought, oh my gosh, that game is absolutely fantastic. And that game, obviously, I don't know if you saw there, is Way of the Exploding Fist. The bizarre thing was, on the Commodore 64, you had it. Well, I think you also had it on this one as well. You had International Karate Plus and also the Way of the Exploding Fist. Now, to me, they were like the International Karate game was the same graphics wise and playability wise as what's on Way of the Exploding Fist, which was very strange. And then it was the other way around, that the International Karate game on the Spectrum had very similar graphics to this one. Now, I'm getting playing. I'm not sure how to play how you get this one going. Right, I'm not quite sure exactly what it's doing. So I'm trying to get the game to play. Okay, so this one's probably not going to work either. This is part of the problem when you have these games on discs. You know, they don't always load up properly. I'm trying to run this one at maximum speed, you know, to see if I can get it playing or anything like that. And I know, I'll just unplug this first, so you make sure you enjoy. Because sometimes I've got this controller. I use an Xbox controller. Sometimes it loses the connection. You press Alt and J to change the joystick over. Okay, disappointing. That's not going to work. Okay, it is actually working. I was just a bit impatient. This is actually running not at the proper speed it should be. This is running at the maximum speed, so like turbo speed. This is the proper speed. Now let's see. Here we go. Now you see, I love the music on this. See, the Spectrum one just consists of a, you know, that type of noise. And again, the graphics, like you said, the graphics on this one are very blocky. You know, so I did really well then. You can tell, can't you? Part of my excuse for this is because I'm using what do you call it, an Xbox One controller, but I can't use the thumb bits. I don't know if you can see there. I can't use that. I have to use that to play the game. And playing a Commodore 64 game with that controller is very, very strange, because you're used to going up, down, left, right, and that's pretty much it. So, but it still works and it's playing. So, as you can see, I've lost again. One last turn before I get fed up. Right, that's it. Blown it. I'm not playing this anymore. Oh, I forgot to tell you. The company that made this game was Melbourne House, and they did, you know, the really, really good team. You know, they did some really good games. Not sure if I liked International Karate better than this one. International Karate Plus, though, that came out when you had 3 players on the Amiga. Now that was something. That's something to look out for. Now this game is Rampage. The sound, you know, the music's not too bad. Sounds okay. Was it pressing the start button? You control George. There's George, Lizzie, and Ralph. Lizzie and Ralph, they're controlled by the computer. Considering to say it was an 8-bit machine, it's not bad. You know, playability wise, you know, you can see when you punch like middle of a thing, it'll only punch a certain part. Like when the arcade, you'd punch certain stuff, and it will punch maybe halfway down the building. This one doesn't. You know, the thing I do like about this game though is the fact that the whole, you know, the whole building, the screen shakes, if you like. You know, when a building's falling down, which I think is quite a nice little feature. Graphics again, 64 blocky-ish. Sound, to me, sounds like somebody's pulling the flush of a toilet. You know, it's certainly not. It's not what I would say is good. And the other thing is you're constantly getting things appearing on the floor like this. Look, and looking at that, it doesn't look like he's punching down, but he is. Don't think he ever gets anything though. What can you say about the game? It's playable, but you know, me being a big fan of the game, I didn't think it was good as a Spectrum version. The Spectrum version was really playable, really nice game to play. Other than that, yeah. I'll show you the next screen just so you can see. You know, yeah, you can argue the Commodore C64 had lovely colours, but who's ever seen blue or yellow buildings apart from maybe on a children's programme? You know, Balamory, anyone? You know, but this is supposed to be like in wherever it is, New York, San Francisco, that type of things, America. Yeah, it's sort of, it is like the old one, the arcade machine, but I played on for a bit, but then, you know, I think if I'd have paid something like £6, £7 or whatever it cost, I think I would have been very bitterly disappointed in this game. Okay, as you can see for this one, Ghostbusters. I'm just going to speed the loading up a little bit for this one. Which again, these are things you couldn't really do on the old days, but if you had the game in the memory, you could use what they called an action replay cartridge, which was really good. You press a button and then save the game, whatever, onto a file, and that used to work. You know, and it worked really well. Now I'm not quite sure if this is loading up or whatever. I think it might be still loading. So I'll just give it a bit of a, you know. But again, this one by Activision, and you know, I think Ghostbusters is one of the games. I think everybody knows Ghostbusters. Here we go. As you can see the music. And then the nice thing about this one is that little thing bouncing up and down. So it's supposed to be like where you're going to be doing the singing. Am I going to be singing? No. So, however, F1 or F2 to start. Okay. So it says here, Ghostbusters for professional blah blah blah. Let's skip this bit. No. See, if they were this quick, this fast, it'd be a lot better. Do you have an account? No. In that case, welcome to your new business. Obviously, I'm going to keep it on the fast speed at the minute because you can see what you're doing. VW bug, we've got so your high performance is $15,000. We've got $10,000, so you can't even buy that one. I'm going to choose number one just to be silly. Okay, so I think you click on this one. Let's have a choice. So change the joystick over. So I have one of them. Image intensifier, we'll have one of them as well. Marshmallow sensor, we'll have one of them as well. E to end. Oh, ghost bait. So traps, well, we need some traps. We'll put what we got? Credit. I want to put a. Suppose we got 5,000 credit. Alright, forget that. There we go. So what you used to do is obviously flash in there, say there's a problem, so you press up, and then if we go, and we're driving left and right. And you think, whoa, fantastic. Let's avoid any. Is there any cars coming? Is anything happening? Not a lot at the moment. Can you speed it up? Can you slow it down? No. And all it does is automatically puts in the thing when you get there. So what you do, put that down there, and then you have that first character, like in the game. You put the so he's got you put your lasers up there, and we've got him. Yay! So I've not played this game. No lie, I've not played this particular game for about 20 years, something like that, maybe. So for me to do that first off, I'm well impressed. Now, why it's leaving them dots, I have no idea. Looks a bit like Pac-Man, I suppose. You have no empty traps. Go back to GHQ. Let's go back to GHQ. So now to drive all the way back. You get the gist of it. That's what it was. You know, the music. Yeah, okay. And I can't say I didn't It's not that I didn't like the game. I did like the game, but I did find it very simple, very easy, a bit boring. Like most games, very boring. But hey ho. Now this is a game, Critical Mass. Now on the Spectrum, it was a very, very good game. Now let me see what this one is. Do you want to start a new game or restore an old? Let's start a new game. Please stand by during disk access. Okay, we'll zoom this a little bit because I don't know about you, but I'd all be sat here waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for the game to load up. So there we go. Right, okay, now you can see this. So looking at this, you're standing at doing office desk. Okay, this basically is a text adventure, you know. It's nothing at all like Critical Mass was on the Spectrum. The Spectrum one, you had a little character where, sorry, not a character, like a little spaceship, if you like, or something that you flew across the sand things. You had to shoot these things, and if it got you, if the thing bust, you'd then be chucked out of the ship, and then you had to sort of fly using a little hover pack that you got to get to this particular place, which was really good. Completely nothing like this game at all. Okay, I'm not going to even bother playing this game, to be honest. It doesn't look, it's nothing like how I expected. Okay, now that's obviously this is the first lot of Commodore 64 games that I've decided to do. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked looking at these games that I've played. If you have any suggestions or anything like that, please let me know. Whether it be, you know, whether you're not keen on certain things or you want something else different or whatever it is, let me know, and I'll obviously try and do my best to accommodate what things you like. Thank you. Thanks for watching anyway. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. I've actually found the games for the Commodore 64 emulator. So let me get my controller because this is the game I was talking to you about. Turbo Esprit. The Spectrum one was really good. This one, if it'll work. There we go. So press the start key. Try to get rid of the cursor so you not see the cursor, and for some reason it's put it on. Don't know why. Let's get the emulator going fastest speed so it loads it up quicker. If it'll do it. Meanwhile, I'm multitasking at the moment, doing other things here. This is my little microphone. Just thought I'd try it here, see if it sounds any better. Okay, so it's actually loaded up now. It did take quite a long time, even though it's supposed to be on a, you know, disc, whatever. And I hear you can see the difference between the. I mean, you might be aware of it, or you might not. But the actual cities on here, you got Higham, Heatherset, Charlton, and Leafield. Completely different names from what was on the Spectrum version. So let's try number 2 for starters. Joystick. Yeah, music's okay. Music's quite loud, nice. So let's start game. Now straight away, look at that. That little thing there, that's your car. How do you get going? Try and hold joystick. Okay, I can't quite sure how you start get driving on this thing. Give me a minute. Okay, there was a bit of an issue. My controller got disconnected. There we go. Now you see, look at this, look. This is going at full speed. And you get a little ding to say there's something happening. And that does, to me, sound like gunfire. And look, I mean, the graphics. You know, the Spectrum one, if you change lanes, you could still fire. This one you can't. And we look at the quality of the graphics on here. Oh dear, I crashed. You know, it's, to me, you know, it's sort of like trying to go faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, top speed, faster and faster. To me, you don't even look like you're going anywhere. The characters of the people walking look like Michelin men. You know, they look like they're all wearing ski suits. You get a different coloured cars, okay, and that's about the only thing that's going for it. You want to stop, and the stopping is terrible. Oh, there you go, look at that. Michelin man, they looks like a walking snowman gone wrong. Terrible, terrible graphics. I think for this game to have worked better, they should have used the graphics similar to the Spectrum version, because, as I mentioned before, this is absolutely abysmal. Now this game was an interesting one. Trash Man. I like this on the Spectrum. Obviously, this was the days where people used to, when they were doing well, it's basically your bins, not your trash, but it's called your bins. When you used to take the bins out, the people used to carry chuck it over the shoulders, Okay, let's have a look how this one is. Oh, I forgot I got it on there. It's going to be maximum speed there. So basically, go along. Any more applicants? No. Go and collect 5 bins from Staunton Lane. Where's he gone? Maximum speed. Okay, so this looks like this game might not work properly because it's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to load up and then you're meant to have a character that starts walking, etc, etc, etc. That's not working.
Well, first stop today.
Right, okay. Here we are. This is actually working. It's now working. What's not working? Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but mine's just come back on again.
Oh, I just sorted Ruby's out.
Mine's just come back on.
I've got a bit of an issue here with Wi-Fi at our house, which is not very good. It's a pain in the bum. Do you want a copy of 3D Monster Maze? An original. Well, this one's slightly just as good as well as. Well, what can I say? The graphics aren't terrible. Very similar to the Spectrum. Colours are quite nice. So on overall, I'd say, as a comparison with the Spectrum one, this is, to me is a little bit better because it does play a little bit quicker. Because like when you got a character there, putting stuff in the back of the truck, it plays quicker. Do you want a tip? Yes, please. Let's have a tip. What's the tip going to be? That got Tax Inspector. Yeah, well, that's on the Spectrum as well. The thing with this one as well, compared to the Spectrum one, is when you actually go to the place inside the house and then come out, with this one you can come out straight away. With the Spectrum one, it takes quite a while. That took a bit of risk there. You see, there could be a car coming to run me over. And then the whole idea of the game is you've got to tip all the bins into the back of the trash man, back of the trash cart, or dustbin as we call it, because it is American, I think, this game, or based American. And you've got to sort of clear all the bins, empty them all into the truck, then go to the next thing. Walk on the path, you lose bonus. I'll see what happens if you lose all the bonus. Starts flashing to say, oh, your bonus are going down, and next minute, oh dear. You're slow. We've had complaints about your activity in Staunton Lane. Twice more and you're fired. Well, that's that, basically. It's a very good game. Also, let me know what you think about this layout, because I've changed the layout to a suggestion from a friend of mine. I think it's quite nice, this one. I decided to put a little background on as well. This photograph I took, and my little logo at the bottom there instead of being above my head. So again, let me know what you think, which you prefer, the old one, this new one. And I appreciate any comments that you've got on video. Thank you. In addition to my last video, I've actually found a better emulator than I was using before. I'm using an old favourite of mine, CCS64. I used to like this one because it's a bit more compatible than the other one. The other one that I was using was, when I find it, I can't remember what it's called actually. It's something C64. What was it? Hox S64. It was okay, but games like this, there was a Trash Man that didn't work properly. This one actually does load properly. So this is a Talladega, pretty decent game. Well, I said pretty decent. For the time, it was fantastic. And just what we put down, and like I say, compared to games these days, shocking. But at the time, this was about pretty much best you'd get. It was alright, quite playable. And they responded to you. Skidding sounded good. Sound for the engine sounded quite good. Yeah, so we qualified. What an easy game. Yeah. Now this one, the trapdoor. This was quite a good one. The Spectrum was not too bad either. Here we go. Joystick port 2 it says. So Lernerberg, Superberg. We'll do Lernerberg. And then you could do various things like picking this thing up if you could catch it. I think. Or maybe not. So what you could, you know, basically you had to do various tasks. Now this person, it says I need to pick me up. So it says, Burke, get me a can of worms. So the idea is you've got to do various tasks. You've got to get things, you know, you can sort of move things about, pick things up. For some reason though, I personally think that this runs a little bit slower than the Spectrum one. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know if it's because of the graphics. I mean, the graphics are really nice on it for an old, for the actual gauge. Oh, I remember what you have to do on this one. What you do, you open this here, look, so you get some worms. So then, what the idea with the thing is, when you get that little frog, what he does is he eats all the worms. So you have to get, where is it? One of these little things here. I think it's this can. This is what, like, it's supposed to be a can. This little thing here. So what you do, you get that, put it on the floor, and then you catch some worms. You get one of these little worms. So if I drop that, so there you go. So now I've got a little worm. Put it above it. Let go. Boink. So that's now in the can. One of them anyway. And then we'll vote down. Oh, no, we don't want to move that. This was a slight problem. Sometimes things just get in the way. A bit like most games really. But they did a really nice job on this one. And with that school, I think it helps you. So now I've got 2 in the can. So what I can do, open this again. Boing. Now the only problem is, so again, like see there, he actually eats the worm. So shut it down, open it up again, close it again. There we go. So now he sort of disappeared. Get this little worm. Don't worry, I'm not going to play this for much longer because it's takes a little bit long. There we go. So we've now got three worms to send up. And the trapdoor is obviously that thing down there. You don't want things to go in. Now there's a little fire thing. So there's certain things where you have to do, like put things on there, make it heat up, that type of stuff. So drop that down there. That is where you sort of go up there, all these little steps, and that sends that up to the person above. You know, the manager, whoever it is. So up we go. Dum 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 dum. Lovely worms. Well done, Burke. Now, I think if you don't have as many, it does something else, but you get the gist of that game. It's quite a nice game. Now, this was one of my favourite games. This is a bat and ball one, like a bat and ball game. You could make it go faster by holding the fire button down and go left and right. But the good thing about this one was it had a construction mode in it, so you could actually make your own levels up, which was quite a new thing, really. And then you've got various different sort of, you know, add-ons, if you like. And some of them were useful, some of them were a nightmare. Like that sped the balls up. But what I did like about this was it's really playable. And the other thing you can have the bat and ball going up and down as well. And this one, look, made the balls go around in a little circle. That one obviously makes one stop. And again, I don't know why the music was really good on it, and I don't know if you can change the music on it. I don't know. That's a really good game, bat and ball game, like I say, up and down, left, right, up. Now this game, up and down, was one of the games that I was really looking forward to playing on the ZX Spectrum. It never materialised. It never came out on the ZX Spectrum, unfortunately. I don't know why. I don't know if there was limitations or whatever. But what I liked about this game is the graphics, the sound. It seems to be, yeah, it does. Maybe it's not running as fast as the other one used to, you know, in the arcades. But again, it's a 16-bit, sorry, a 6-bit, 8-bit machine, you know. Like I say, I love the colours on it. You know, graphics aren't the best, but and we're being a small screen as well. But then again, you know, what they did was I think they did really good. You know, and the original arcade game was a Sega one, so this is quite faithful to the arcade game. You know, playable. You've got to be quite good at it, which I'm not. But hey-oh. Now here's Uridium. Now this was a really good game. You know, the sound effects, everything else. But again, Commodore 64 unfortunately suffered the you know, the graphics, you know, the blocky graphics, which, you know, a lot of people didn't mind really because it was a really playable game. The Spectrum version was very good. And so what you have to do on it, I'm not quite 100% sure. I think you just have to shoot loads of stuff really. That's pretty much it really. Just, yeah, that's it. I'm not very good at that one, as you can tell. But hey, it's not bad. Now this version of Paperboy on the Commodore 64, what can you say about it? It's different. The sound, well, the music is something I've never heard of before. I've never done music before. You know, it's totally on its own. Again, by Elite, they did this one. When it loads up eventually. There we go. There you go. You can see, or you can tell by the issue of the sound, and then it slows down.
Wait, what's I want it?
And you sort of see them and you think, well, why is he chasing me? I've not even delivered a paper yet. And again, I mean, look at the size of the bike compared with the car. You know, it just made me wonder why. And it's like the control system, it's like he's on ice. You know, slides like everything. You know, slides all over the place. I mean, okay, you could argue that the scrolling is pretty good, which it is. It's not bad. But the music, what's that all about? The music is, to me, I mean, you know, it's not horrible music. It's a bit grating and stuff, and the sound effects, like when the glass breaks, that's pretty cool. Like that. Although I don't think you could actually stop the tyre for some reason. There we go. I'm hoping I'll be able to get to the end. No, but maybe not. Anyhow, that you get the gist of that one. Paperboy, you know, playable, but graphics not too brilliant. The smoothness, you know, I think if it was a Spectrum and they followed the music a bit better, then it would be a much better game. But as it stands, it's okay. It's not a bad conversion. Okay, now this is Pac-Mania. The intro bit was not very good because so the intro, I say the intro, the crack people, because they use the rude words, the F word and stuff, which you don't want to see. Anyhow, here we go. Start. There we go. Sandbox. Dum bum bum bum. Now this looks like, I'm just looking at the sound on this, and there's something very strange happening with the noise and stuff. So I need to double check the noise on this. Can you hear this? Can you hear the music okay? But again, this was a very good conversion. You know, obviously the screen was quite squashed a bit. But overall, I think, you know, they've done a really good job on this. I think most of the games did really well, actually. The Commodore Amiga was a really good version. And then you get this, and it's like turbo, mega turbo. This, like 100 times faster than anything that I'd seen on any of the other consoles. How fast it was at going, you know, scrolling to the right. But yeah, it's not a bad game. Obviously, you're all probably aware, based on the original Pac-Man, they decided to make it 3D. And the original Pac-Man maze is one of the levels on here. I think it's the first one, maybe. But, you know, playable, really good graphics, although a bit blocky, you know, but it's Commodore 64, what do you expect? You know, they're very nice, right. watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, give a thumbs up and consider subscribing, because I'd like to do some live things at some point, and I need 1,000 subscribers, so that would be great. What do you think? Yes, I agree.